So what I am doing today is, again, focusing on this gorgeous 2-set stamp, Rooted in Nature set. It's a beautiful stamp set. It is just, it's a little bit of Lovely as a Tree. It's a little bit of kind of eclectic, which is a retired set. It's just a little bit of everything, and I really love it. So yesterday I was using these 2 sets, and today I thought I would focus on this right here. So not only that, but it also comes with a companion die set, which is fabulous. So if you've always loved Lovely as a Tree, then you might also love this set, because now you can cut them out as well. So whenever I do direct to stamp with markers, I always like to start with the lightest color, because you never want to cross-contaminate. So always best to start with the lightest color and then work your way up. Now this is a really basic stamp. It's a tree, so you're going to be focusing on the foliage, and I'm just going to, you know, color it in. I'm going to stay away from the trunk, but I'm just going to color it in with this Pear Pizzazz. I'm focusing on the subtles as well as the neutrals for this coloring technique. Okay, so I'm going to maybe put a little bit of green down on the bottom too. The beautiful thing about these Stampin' Up, Stampin' Right markers are that they have a fine tip, 0.5 millimeter, as well as a brush tip. So really function and versatility and a lot of features and benefits to this product. The next one I'm going to be using is Mossy Meadow, and again I'm going to be focusing on the brush tip, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the Mossy Meadow underneath. I'm just kind of scribbling on there, nothing crazy, just, you know, getting the color on there, and maybe I'll go back over that again. Okay, so there, now we have those 2 colors. Next I'm going to go with the lighter brown, and I'm going to focus on the trunk. So there's a little bit of trunk right here, and maybe a little bit there, and a little bit right here. And then super simple, that was Soft Suede, and now I'm going to be focusing on the Early Espresso, which is a darker. And I think what I might do is just kind of hold it over towards the edge, a little there, and put a little bit there. Okay, so that's all there is to it. I've colored my tree. It's dry, so because it's dye ink, it's going to dry onto the rubber, but that's where the straight water comes in. So then we just take this spritz bottle and we just give it a light mist, maybe even 2. A really light mist. This is going to give it kind of a watercolor look, but as you'll see, it does start to model up a little bit, which is to your advantage. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just go ahead and press that stamp down. And I really love the look of that. I think it's really kind of cool. Now let's see. Because the die cut is going to be very close to that edge, I can actually see if I can get another ghost print. I did another spritz. I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to just come a little bit off and see what that second one looks like. Not bad. Not as great as the first, but not bad. That came out really, really nice. I love the look of that. So I might have to actually get the garden green too, but let me just start with a little bit. This is an old technique, but for anybody new to stamping, you may not be aware of it. So that's why I thought it was worthwhile to share. Okay, so now I go again in with the darker, and I'm just gonna go in kind of underneath some of these. So this set really lends itself to a lot of kind of collage because of what the design is. It's just super pretty. The other thing you can do is maybe take, I love the font here, so this sentiment is just really gorgeous and fun. So that's the other thing we can do, is to stamp some sentiments and then use punches or dies to cut those out. One thing that I like to do is, I have a bumper, and I've talked about my bumper before in my Stamparatus, but it's nice because if you have a stamp right up to this edge right here, I don't know if you can see that, right up to this edge, the principles of how the Stamparatus is made is, it has benefits to why it was made this way, but because of the way that it was made and those benefits, then there's some drawbacks in other areas. So it's awesome because you have this hinge that you can take the plate off, you can step it down, you can move the whole thing, and you can, you know, have repetitive stamping. So that's really awesome. But because of that, when you put something too close up here, sometimes the hinge doesn't always work to the same exact nature as you want. So I utilize this bumper to just push my paper out a little bit. So then when I go ahead to stamp, I'm making sure that my image is further away from this hinge so that when I do press down, it's going to give me a solid stamped image. Start looking to see what would look good on it. Now, Stampin' Up! Is in the process of doing a color revamp, and super fun that they're doing it. They've actually incorporated Mossy Meadow, which is this dark green color, into their neutrals. But look at that as as it lays down on that. The blue is pretty darn good. That's equally as nice. And now that I'm looking at it, this is totally a guy card, which is awesome. We always need more guy cards. The gray is nice, but it kind of alludes to gray skies, so I don't know if I like the grays as much. So I'm going to put those off to the side. I do like the Mossy Meadow because, of course, we used that magic marker in our stamping, which was nice. This is the Sahara Sand with the crumb cake, and then of course we have soft suede, and they all look really nice together as well. So again, one of the cool things about Stampin' Up! Is the markers match the ink, match the paper, and when everything is said and done and you put your card together, all the colors coordinate, and it's really subtle, but it makes the card look really professional, and it's just fabulous. So this set comes with these other images, and at the end of the day, I think this needs some texture. So I could do a couple of things. One of the cool things that is in the die set are these embossed, they look like dies, but they're really not. They're, you run them through just like you do the dies, but they emboss on the paper. So I'm thinking I could do that. That might be fun. And the next thing I'm going to do is to do some watermarking, and I'm going to use this Versamark, and I'm going to do a very similar technique with those same stamps, so then we'll be able to look at the two options that we have. Create from within and go get crafty today.